When you think about the military, what kind of ideas pop into your head? Guns, tanks, guys in camo pants? I doubt that the first image that comes to mind is a woman, if you think of a woman at all. There are many laws in place to protect against workplace discrimination. Some include Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits employment discrimination based on race, religion, color, sex, or national origin. Another one is the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which protects men and women who are performing the same job in the same establishment from sex-based wage discrimination. But these laws have not been enforced within the military, and many women have been held back due to this. The 1994 Combat Exclusion Policy barred women from being assigned to ground combat units, which are smaller units that are considered more dangerous because they spend more time in combat situations. Still, women have been making huge strides and slowly working towards women's equality within the military. Women are reaching higher ranks than they ever have before, and many firsts are being achieved for women. In late January of this year, the Secretary of Defense lifted that 1994 ban on women holding combat positions. Military women have fought for a long time to have this ban lifted because they felt that they were already serving in combat roles due to the severe situations in Iraq and Afghanistan, but they were just not receiving the credit that they had earned. Women have also argued that the only thing the ban was doing was preventing women from being promoted into leadership positions. Carrie Lorenz, a former Navy lieutenant and one of the first women to fly F-14s on aircraft carriers, was quoted saying, "We have women in combat positions right now. We are just not able to promote them. They are on the ground in Iraq. They are on the ground in Afghanistan. This is strictly formalizing and recognizing what their contributions currently are." Modern warfare results in no one being safe in a war zone. It used to be that only the soldiers down in the trenches and on the front lines were the ones under fire. And of course, women would not hold those positions. Today's wars create a situation that a cook, a nurse, a maintenance worker are just as not safe as a ranger or a sniper. Many women in so-called support roles have been killed and injured, serving in positions labeled as non-combat. Take, for example, Lori Piestewa, a Native American and single mother. She was driving in a convoy full of clerks and maintenance workers when they became under mortar fire. The truck in front of her jackknifed and a rocket hit her truck head-on and fatally injured her. There are many stories about women being injured or killed in combat. Without there being a front line in modern warfare with suicide bombs and sniper attacks, more and more women have been placed in combat situations by just being over in a war situation. More than 150 female troops have been killed in Iraq and Afghanistan since the wars began. Women in the military are put in high-risk situations no matter what their job title is. The ban on women holding combat positions may have protected women's lives in the past, but with today's war situations, all it was doing was holding women back from obtaining higher ranks, higher pay, and leadership positions within the armed forces. If a woman is willing to risk their life just as a military man does, then they should be eligible for the same leadership roles that man would be eligible for. Even though the ban has been lifted, women are still facing many challenges for becoming high-ranking leaders within the armies. Many of these challenges are related to stereotypes and the way the American public thinks about military women. One major issue that comes up is that women are not physically strong enough to pull their weight in ground combat troops. This is a fair argument, and if a woman is not able to meet the physical requirements, then they should not be eligible for that position, just as if a male cannot meet the physical requirements, then he would not be eligible either. What the issue is that highly qualified women have not been given the chance to show what they can do. Another debate point opposing the ban lifted on women serving in combat roles is that current military leaders are concerned that having women in these small combat troops will disrupt the cohesion of the male group and also distract the male soldiers from doing their job. Well, male soldiers need to be professional, and they don't need to look at the woman as an object. They need to look at her as a qualified member of their team, because if she was not qualified enough, she should not be there. In conclusion, women join the military voluntarily. They are not being forced to put their lives at stake. They are signing up for service because they want to. Because they are making this choice at their own free will, women should be able to make the most of their potential and qualifications and what the military has to offer them and work their way up into leadership positions. Women should not receive special treatment or become promoted because they are women. Women should move up the ranks based on their service, skills, educations, and qualifications that make them deserve to be high military leaders. Thank you.